seen him on Joy Bar Comedy and wants to go absolutely crazy. Please welcome Zoltan Kaszas.
What is up, everybody? I stood up. Thank you. That was so respectful. It felt like an ex-president right there. That gentleman stood up and clapped for me. Oh, man. I'm kind of nervous now. Like, I don't want to let that guy down now. Good Lord. Thank you, everybody. One more time for Jeremiah and Bob. Make it last long. So nice to be here. This is my first time here in Eugene. I've missed Eugene, Oregon on all my trips, and I'm glad it worked out. I've done Albany, Oregon. I've done that. That is how the show went. I've done that one. I was at a bowling alley, and I stayed at the Phoenix Inn next to the adult shop right off the freeway. Exactly, yeah. That hotel came with the gig. In case you're wondering, like, why'd you pick that one? That's the one we wanted to pick, yeah. And they gave us free drinks and said, drive on back. Don't worry, it's not like the state troopers station is right next to that hotel. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, that had to be 15 years ago. That was so long ago. That was back when you could have hired me for a bowl of soup. I was just trying to be a comedian, and somehow I got this booking at a bowling alley in Albany, Oregon. I think I paid $400, and I'm like, yeah. And I got a buddy of mine. I was like, come with me. He's like, I'm coming. And he opened for me. I think they paid me $400, and that was for me and him. That was the entire show in one room that we shared at the Phoenix Inn. And we drove in a Honda Civic from San Diego, California, all the way up to Albany, Oregon. Once you pass, like, San Francisco, it starts getting all just, it was like moments where a buddy of mine is asleep, and then you're tired, and then you just see a semi-truck kind of weave, and you're like, oh my God, and then I weave, and then he wakes up, like, what happened? I'm like, nothing, man. I didn't want to tell him, you almost died. I didn't want to tell him that. And then I had those moments on that side. But yeah, that show didn't go well. I remember that. It was just a bar in a bowling alley. No stage. It was just a corner. And they had one amp and a microphone. And the bartender was in charge. Have you been to this show? You know this bowling alley. So you know I'm not making any of this up. So we show up, it's just a mic with a mic stand and one amp. And the bartender goes, you start the show there. And then my buddy had to start the show. And before we showed up, he's like, hey man, I brought a knife. And I was like, what'd you bring a knife for? He's like, just in case things get out of hand, I brought a knife. And I'm like, okay, that's good. That's probably a good idea. I was a young guy. I was like maybe 21. I don't know anything. And I was like, yeah, a knife's probably a good idea. And this guy was a 30-year-old alcoholic, so I'm like, I'm in good hands, you know? And I remember he did well, and then it was my set. I was headlining the bowling alley. And I had to go up there, and I immediately offended people because I said, I was like, well, we drove up, and there was a bunch of farmland. Your cows are looking a little thin. And that's all I said. I was like, kind of some messy-looking cows out there. You notice how that got a laugh? That's kind of a funny thing to say. Who calls cows messy, right? Like, I was like, that's a fun little thing to throw out there. And I just remember a guy in overalls going, your cows in California are full of steroids. Like, he was angry. And then the crowd started to turn on me. And by turn on me, they were never on my side. I just mean like it was more not on my side. And I didn't know what to do, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, my buddy Joe has a knife in the back. In case any of you country bumpkins decide to get upset. And then my buddy Joe was like, what did you say? And I did. Now everyone's eyeballing him, and I honestly don't remember the rest of the set, but they didn't kill us. So it must have gone all right. Do they still do comedy at that bowling alley? All right. I'm actually happy to hear that. I am happy to hear that. Maybe my show was the last one. We don't need to do this to the good people of Albany. They don't need this. And then I got a speeding ticket on the way back. And that cost more than $400. So immediately lost any kind of money. I don't even know what the profits would have been with gas and food and driving up from San Diego, but whatever those profits were, they were dashed. And I remember my buddy tried to warn me. He's like, hey man, I've been through Oregon, and their speed limit is 65, and they drive it. And I was like, all right. And then I'm on the freeway, and everyone drives it. You guys do follow the speed limit. But we had just had a bad show at a bowling alley. I just wanted to get home. We had like a 17-hour drive or whatever to get back home, and I'm like, I stomped that. And as soon as I got up to 80, it was like a windy little thing, and there was a cop, and we made eye contact. And I was like, no! And he pulled me over. I didn't even have an argument. He came by, you guys had the troopers with the hat, with the belts on the back. That's impressive to hold a hat on. And you're like, no, I just need a belt over my head fat right back there. Just strap it onto my head gut, and that'll keep it in. And he came by and he goes, do you have any idea why I pulled you over? I'm like, I was going fast. And he's like, why are you going so fast? I'm like, I just bombed at a bowling alley. I was just trying to get the hell out of the state. That's all I was trying to do. I'm glad we get another swing at it. This is already... I like Eugene. Eugene's way better than... No offense. I mean, no knock on anyone who lives there. It's nice down here. I like it. Because, like, the further south you go, is this like the last city in Oregon before it just becomes Medford? Like, is that right? Because I've also worked Medford a lot, and you know, Medford's the only town that I've told them, I'm like, hey, your town it's kind of a butt town here, right? And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, usually when you travel, like even in Albany, I was like, hey, you guys kind of have a little town here, don't you? And they're like, yeah. Like, they understood who they were, you know, they understood where we were, they understood what was going on. But in Medford, it was like, what? How dare you? We vacation in Medford, how dare you? And they're like, we're not, no, you're talking about Grants Pass. Grants Pass is a bunch of hillbillies, not us here in Medford. And I had to let them know, I'm like, no, both of you. Both of you, you don't get to make that distinction. Both of you. Both of you. But yeah, I like it. We drove down from Portland today. That was a fun little drive. It's like you guys are the only ones that still have like hitchhikers. That's awesome. This is like the only place in the country where you drive on the interstate and there's just a guy, just like a hermit with a giant backpack, just walking down the interstate, and you're like, yeah, we're not near anything. Like, you're far between exits. You're like, where's the plan? I'm not going to pull over and ask, but that's there. And you're like, wow, this is like out of a Jack Kerouac novel or something. It looks less sexy when you see it in person. In the novels, it looks so beautiful and whimsical, and you're like, I'm riding the rails, and you're like, that guy's walking in the rain. Well, it's less adventurous. But. One more time for Jeremiah, everybody. It was awesome. I told him, I'm like, man, it's a hot crowd. And he's like, no, it's me. I was like, that's a good line. You had one in the chamber ready to roll, man. So good to be here. Thank you guys for coming out on a Sunday. Here, Eugene. It's beautiful, man. It's my first time here. And I don't know what's going on, but I like it. All right? I got to learn a little bit about Oregon because we started in Portland, and I've been through Oregon plenty of times, and I pretty much learned that like this is the last town you can go to before it just becomes Medford for the rest of the last one. And I've done many shows in Medford, and oh boy. And I liked it. They were just the only town that I've ever performed in. When I told them, like, oh yeah, it's kind of sucks here, right? And they were like, what? Like, because that's like a comedian thing. You travel around, and sometimes you're in big cities, sometimes small ones, sometimes little butt towns, and you're like, yeah, it's a little butt town out here. And they're like, no, this is where we come to vacation. And I'm like, they'd be like, you're thinking of Grants Pass. And I'm like, no, you both suck. That's video. Like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, they still do shows at Chadwick's Pub at the Rogue River Regency in Medford. Yeah, if you're ever there, get a room there. I've seen the police there a lot. It was always a fun gig, but yeah, I remember the one time I went and I was like, I wanted to do something fun and educational. Like, I like to go to museums and stuff. And they had a tour in Grants Pass for to see the river, the Rogue River, on a speedboat, like on a jet boat kind of thing. And on the website, they're like, come take a tour of the historic Rogue River on a jet boat, and it made it look educational. I was like, hell yeah, we just showed up. It was not. It's just like a muscle car on the water. And there's a guy with a headset, and he's mainly talking about the engine. That's what he's. We got a double carburetor, 8-cylinder. Sometimes he would talk about stuff, but he's like, oh, we're gonna open up all the cylinders now. And he would point out educational stuff here and there, but it would be mostly about him doing donuts. He would yell shake and bake, and then that meant he was going to do a donut, and we're all going to get wet. And so it was bizarre. He'd just be going like, hey, oh, you see there's a bald eagle right there. Everyone get your cameras out. Just get a picture of that bald eagle. Everyone get that picture? Yeah? Shake and bake! And then we'd go a little bit down further and be like, oh, you see that bridge right there? That was built in like 1852. Lewis and Clark walked over it or something. I don't know. And get a good picture of that. That's a good bridge right there. All right, ready, shake and bake. Do another one. And then I remember it got sad. There was a moment where a little girl started crying in the front of the boat, and he's like, what's wrong? What happened up there? And someone's like, she got stung by a bee. And you're like, oh no, don't worry, I got an ice pack. And he just passed up like a bottle. It was just a can of Bud Light. That he had in the cooler. And he called it an ice pack. And I'm just watching this can of Bud Light go to the front of the boat, and they just held it on this little girl's arm for her bee sting, and it was all somber on the boat. And after a few minutes, he's like, how's she doing up there? And then there's a thumbs up from some guy in the front that she's doing better. He's like, all right, shake and bake. One more. And so yeah, I like all of Oregon, but there's always, there's all these different parts. I'm still trying to get the vibe of Eugene. This is where Nike started, right? Nike? All right. Is that okay? I like it. I brought it up, and you guys were like, we don't talk about that. All right. You guys were like, I didn't know he was going to make it political. I don't even know if Nike's political, but you never know these days. I like Nikes. I wear those. Thank you. You guys are so jazzed for a Sunday. This is so interesting because we did this is the Late Show, by the way. The Late Show started at 6:30 or 40. We did, and then we sold it out, and then so we added a 3. They're like, you want to add a 3 o'clock? And I was like, is that legal? And they're like, yeah, we can add a 3. People showed up, people canceled their naps. And canceled their afternoon naps, and they're like, let's go. You just pointed at 2 nappers. I love that. I was going to take a nap, but I knew that I wouldn't wake up in time. I love people that come to see me, because that's, I was in Portland on Friday, and we did 2 shows there, and the late one started at 9:45, and so it was very late. And I know my people, and I told them, I was like, next time I come back, this 9:45 show we'll do it like 4 p.m. And the entire it was a theater. Like I just yelled charge at January 6th. There's a guy dressed like a yak, and I'm like, where the hell did that guy come from? That's what my people, we'll charge for a 4 o'clock show. Let's do it early, man.
Hello, this is Zoltan Kaszas, and the year is 2025. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind-blowing? If you were just sent in from the past to the future, and this is how you're finding out the year, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. What the hell am I talking about? The point of this is I am on tour all year. It's what I do. A bunch of cities. I'm very excited to hit them all. If you'd like to see if I'm coming to a town near you, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. There also might be a link in this video, maybe right over my eyes. I don't know what the editor is going to do with this. It could be in the description, what have you. But if it's not, zoltancomedy.com. Hit the shows tab, go down the list of shows, see if I'm coming to a town near you, and come see me so I can continue being a comedian and I don't have to go get a job where I'm a horrible employee. I've been told many times by numerous bosses. So please come out and see me and keep the dream alive.
That part doesn't matter because like you're just rolling into your role. There's no losing until you set a number, right?
Okay.
And then once you set a number, they put a button on that number, and you bet on numbers around it. So every time somebody rolls, if the number hits, you bet on it, you win. If they hit the number that was set, everybody wins. Everybody wins because everyone's betting on that number.
I see.
And then you roll out with a 7. So if you hit a 7, then you're out. Game over.
It's still hard.
It is.
I gotta be around it. So what if you come in the middle of the game, you're like, you guys already set the number?
No, and so once you roll out, they reset the board.
I see.
And then you start over. I got 500, let's go. Comedy?
I will not live up to that. I'll tell you that right now. That was quite the hello. One more time for Mike and Ruby. Make it loud for them. Yeah. We're here. We're here. You might recognize Mike from my podcast if you listen to my or watch my podcast. All right, nobody watches my podcast. He's on there. People watch, all right? Not you guys, but others. It's been great. We went out, we were out till 5 in the morning last night. We were doing it, and I know that's the response, because you guys clap it up if you're from out of town. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's a small amount. Everyone else is locals. You guys were like, we were in bed by 11 last night. And that's what you do, because you live here. I understand that, but I'm not from here, so we come in, and we weren't planning to be out that late. It was just we were at the Golden Nugget at $15 minimum blackjack table, and my wife's like, it's 4 in the morning, and I'm like, is it? And then Mike was getting kicked out of the table because he got into an argument with some redneck from Virginia, and I'm like, this does feel like 4 in the morning. I feel like this doesn't happen at 11. This is a 4 in the morning occurrence. Oh man, I love Old Vegas. That's what I like. I like the strip for the restaurants and the sure, whatever. But for the gambling, take me to that Hunter S. Thompson novel of Old Vegas. I was sitting at a blackjack table with a Spirit flight attendant. Yeah. And when she sat down, she's like, I'm a flight attendant. I'm like, I'm going to guess Spirit. And just from the attitude of it, you know?
She thought she knew where everyone was from just because she was a flight attendant, which is such a weird energy. You know, I'm a flight attendant. I know where everyone's from. It's like, really? From spending about 9 hours in every city and then quickly getting on another flight and leaving? Yeah, I got a real touch for the city. I go in and I take a nap at a Hampton Inn and then I get the hell out of there. That'd be like me saying, you know, I really get how airplanes work just because I'm in there for a while. And I fall asleep. I think I get it, dude. Let me tell you what's wrong with the Boeings. We'll break it down right now. They're using steel rivets, and they really should be using rubber concrete. I don't know, like, just... But she was saying it with so much confidence, you know? And she gambled so much money. So we watched her lose $1,300. Yeah. And they looked important to her. Like... They look like mortgage payments, and she's like, damn it! And you know, I was over there. We were losing too, but not that much. And I was giggling. You know, I was just like, this is so fun. And she just giving me the stink eye because I hit when I wasn't supposed to hit or something. They get so mad at that. I'm like, hit, and she's like, what the hell? And I'm like, I have 12. And she's like, we're all playing together. I'm not looking at 5 people's cards. Like, what do you think this is, a movie? Like we planned it in our rooms. This is going to be a heist. We're going to go in there and count cards or something. No, I'm going to stand there and get free drinks and guzzle these Michelob Ultras. And then I'm going to look glazy-eyed at my cards and then look at the dealer and go, That's why they do the hand signals, because they know you're going to get drunk enough to where the words won't mean anything. That's why they had to invent that. Because they're not going to cut anybody off. They'll just be like, yeah, we'll keep taking your money if that's what you want. Had a great time, man. It was so fun. It was energetic. And then today, just hung over. I didn't do anything. We just stared. We're at the Circa. That's the hotel we're staying at, which that's the one with a big dumb pool. And they got a giant pool and a big TV in the pool area. It's the most white trash pool I've ever seen. It's just... That whole hotel looks like someone from the trailer park won the lotto, and they're like, I want a big pool and a big TV, bigger, and no kids are allowed. There's already no kids allowed at no, but make it a rule. That's gonna be just me in the pool watching them, and I'm gonna sit and watch and pee and drink and gamble. And I'll never have to leave. It's all of my dreams. And it's so distracting because, like, we have a room with a pool view and the TV's right there. And then my wife and I are just in bed and we're talking, but there's just a TV. And she's like, are you listening? I'm like, yeah. It's just, there's like 9 games going on that thing. Like, I'm making fun of it, but I'm also attracted to it. You know what I mean? I grew up in the trailer park. Like, I'm making fun of it, but there's a big part of me that's like, hell yeah, dude. I'm making fun, but don't get it wrong. That's me completely. It's so good because the weather hasn't been good. And people are still out there in the pool. Not a lot of them, but they're just begrudgingly in there. You know, just like, they're not ruining our vacation. And the worst part is, while someone's in the pool, there has to be lifeguards there. So there's lifeguards wrapped in beach towels, watching one angry guy going, it's not raining. I'm from Iowa. I'll show you some rain. That's some real rain. It's not raining. This isn't rain. It's sleet. That's what they do. It's so funny because I think the pool's only like 3 feet deep. Man, it's not a big pool, and there's like legitimate lifeguards. They got the big dumb floaty things, and they're all just waiting for some guy to draw. Then they got to roll up their sweatpants and shimmy over. Are you okay now?
The word hero gets thrown around too much these days, but those guys are heroes. They gotta... I don't know if you ever gotten the cuffs of your sweatpants wet, but that'll ruin your day. You know? It's like a sponge down there. That'll wreck your day.
Yeah, one of them lived on Donkey Lane, and I was like, I don't know if this will actually get to you. Rui! What's up, buddy?
What up, gang?
You good? He just went on, so you got like 10 minutes. We were thinking about going to shoot vlog stuff at Fremont Street tonight after the show if you want to come. Are you sure? Because we're at the... Oh, that's one up. I think we might have to go down. It's funny, we've been here for 3 days and now we're lost. Are you trying not to be in it? That's where it goes down. Heaven, let your light shine now. Oh! Insane. It's insane. It's crazy they got another band down there. You want to get a shot of that? There's a crying girl. That's all part of it. Whoa, a big gorilla. Just a drunk lady hugging the gorilla. That was not consensual. Sick butt cheek. It kind of feels like the end of the world. Doesn't, like a little bit. This is how I would imagine it ending. We're headed to the Four Queens. The Four Queens. Looking at everything. Duncan? Still waiting. Still waiting for my Duncan black card. We're here. This is the Four Queens. This is the first casino that I performed at in Vegas. It's part of the reason I love Old Vegas. Everyone's welcome. There's no class system. The class is no class in Fremont Street. That's why I like it. Come take a look. 24-hour subway. I ate here a lot. Doors open. This is the first place that I did comedy in Vegas. The Canyon Club. It's still here. This is the spot. I can't believe the door's open. I don't think we're supposed to be in here, but everyone shut up. Oh, it smells like failure. Still. Like this, I bombed so many times in here. I remember the smell of not doing well in this room. Okay, you got Don Rickles, you got a Henry Rollins poster up there. That is so cool. This room's been here since like probably the 60s when they opened the club. Maybe when they opened the casino, maybe the 50s. Oh, I used to have so many dry mouth bombs up there, like lips sticking to teeth, bombing in this room. And Mike Hammer's still here. Mike Hammer is the magician that performs here. He was performing here when this used to be the LA Comedy Club too. Oh. That's the remnants of the magic show. How cool is this? How long have you been working here?
Me? 13 years.
13 years? Yeah, I used to do comedy on this stage back in like 2012, 2013. So like, oh yeah, a little over 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I used to do really bad. They'd boo me off stage. Yeah, and it would be more of a mess than that to clean up. Just,
I know.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Yeah, well, thank you. Things are going well. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you for letting us come through. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you. You have a good night. I used to sell my merch right here, and people wouldn't even look me in the eye when they walked by. I would just have my little CDs, and they would just walk by. I remember one time a sex worker, I think that's the proper terminology, I was over here next to my CDs, and she comes up, she goes, "Can I use your phone?" And I'm like, "No." She goes, and then she walked off. And then someone else came up from the show that had actually seen me do comedy, and they looked at me, looked at her, looked at my CDs, and didn't say a thing and just walked past. And I was like, that was the second day. That was Tuesday, and I was here all the way through Sunday. It's ridiculous. I like it. This is the old Vegas. You don't get this feeling in the air. In the rest of the strip, there's beauty here, right? I didn't know that guy. That was fun. So yeah, we were at the Circa. Came in on Thursday, flew in. One of the wheels broke on my luggage, which is like the worst thing that could ever happen, isn't it? You check a bag, and then you gotta go pick it up, and there's just a wheel gone. And it could be a nice piece of luggage, and one wheel breaks, and you're like, we look homeless. That's what this looks like. Even when you get into the cab, they're like, take us to the Circa. And you're like, the shelter? Is that what you said? And you're like, no, we have reservations.
Yeah, we had a wonderful time. Got to go to a show. That was awesome. We went to go see the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil over at the Mandalay Bay. Went over to that. We sat too close. I didn't know you could do that. Because we looked and my wife was like, we could sit second row, just a little off to the side, and it's cheaper than sitting in the back. And I'm like, what a bunch of idiots. Let's get up there. I want front row tickets to the Cirque du Soleil. And we got up there, and as soon as it started, we're like, we are in the show. We're in the show. It was terrifying. It's just like they have the smoke machine. We're in the smoke. We're like, damn it. There's ninjas flying out of the air. We're like, it was like a bad dream. It was like I was having a bad dream where in my dream I'm in a musical, but I missed all the rehearsals. And now we're just on stage like, I don't. Why were these cheaper? It was so far away. But it was fun, man. Those people are talented. They just keep flipping. Where do you even train for that? Like, where do they just come from, Scandinavia or something? Like, where do they come from? You're like, what, that was the dream? You're like, I wanted to be a flipper. But my mom took me to a trampoline park, and it's been my dream, and now I'm in Cirque du. They're so good. They're amazing. We even went to the Late Show, and we were so close I got to see the dancers' faces. And I was interested, because I'm like way in the back, I can't see their face, but I can see their face. And I was really interested in seeing, it's their late show. I was interested to see if they're really into the show. You know, because most of you might not be performers, but I have 2 shows tonight, and this is the one I like. Like, this is... This is the one I want to do. The next one's the one I gotta do. All right? They don't let me just do one. They're like, you do 2? And I'm like, all right, I guess. But this one, I'm like, hey, last night, Vegas, flight attendant, so much fun. And then next show, I'll be like, yeah, all right, you know? Like, I'll be into it. They're going to have a good time, but I'm not going to be as into it as this one, you know? Because this one feels fresh. The next one's going to feel like a lie, you know? Like, have you ever been to a dinner party where you've told the story to the same people twice? That's what doing a second show feels like as a comedian. Like, I gotta be like, staying at the Circa, blah, 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 blah. And they're gonna be like, this is great. In my head, I'm like, you're such a phony. You said this 2 hours ago. You're trying to make it all seem like it's in the moment. None of it. It's all a lie. But I was watching their faces because I was interested to see if they were also like I am on a late show, because that would be so funny just to see dancers just like... doing cartwheels with dead eyes, you know? Just like, whatever. But they were really into it, I gotta tell them. They were all professional then. Biting the lip, doing all the things. They were really committed. They made me feel bad about how I treat a late show. Because their show is so much harder than mine. And I'm like, I should really give more efforts. I should really try hard. I like Las Vegas. I'm growing into it. At first, I'm like, this is just degenerate gambling, and I can't afford any of the restaurants. I honestly think that's why I didn't like Vegas, because I couldn't afford to do anything. And I'd be like, well, I'll save up for one buffet. And that's what I used to do. 10 years ago when I used to come to Vegas, I would save up for the Bellagio buffet. And that was my only meal that I would have the entire time. I'd eat like a king once. I think at the time it was like $70 to get in. I don't know what it costs now, probably like $200 now. But yeah, probably, if I'm guessing. But back then it was like $70, and I put all my... They're like, what are you gambling on? I go, the buffet. And that's what I'm... Blah, blah, blah. I loved it, man. Yeah, last night we lifted up. We went to Carver's Steak over at the Resort World thing. Yeah, I didn't know it cost that much. We found that out. it was funny because the waiter, he was like, "What are you guys celebrating tonight?" And I was like, "No, we're just having dinner." And he was like, "Ooh," and then he. And he dropped the menus off, and I looked at the prices. I was like, "Whoa!" And then he came back. I'm like, "Actually, we're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, and the next Christmas that's coming. This is all of that on this. $15 for butter, huh? Did I read that correctly? You want a dollop of butter on your steak? $15. That's it. Whoa! Is it a lot or just really good? But it is better. It is better. It is so much better. I love it. I had mashed potatoes that had the consistency of whipped butter because I think they just put butter in there and they put black truffle and they whipped it. It was like a liquid. It was a gelatinous liquid. And quite honestly, if there was no one around, I would have been like, "And I just forget all this. Can I have more of the mashed potatoes and a straw? Can I get a straw and some privacy and some more mashed potatoes?" It's too good. I'm not a high-class individual. I don't know what it is, but yeah, been enjoying it. Like Mike, I live out there in New York City. That's where I live. Out there with Emma, and we're doing our best to fit in there. I like it. There's a lot of interesting people out there, and I enjoy that. Like last time I was on the subway, I saw a woman with hairy legs, and and I'm not for or against it. Just for the record, I think you should be able to do whatever you want with your legs. It's just I'm immature. You know what it is. So I saw him, and when I see hairy legs on a woman, the only thing I can think of is the scene from the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. You know exactly what yeah. When Robin Williams is on the bus and his stockings had come down, and the bus driver sees him, he's like, "Oh," and then he's like, and he's like, and he goes, "Don't cover that up. That's just natural, just how God made you." And he says it all wet like that, you know? And so I'm looking at the legs and I'm thinking of the scene and I'm just giggling to myself. And I was like, "Oh, that must look different from her vantage point." And I'm like, no, I'm just thinking of a bus driver hitting on you in a movie. Big fan. Big fan of that. Yeah, very much. I like the energy. All the energy's on this section, and you guys are good too. But the extra, it's terrifying. You know, it's a little scary. That's the home team, and then you're like. But I do like it, man. Very much enjoy your city. Been gambling, and it's been fun. It's been fun. You got to live it up because it's, I've been reading on the news and it feels like it's close to over. Every day a little bit closer. I don't know about you. I fly every week and every flight is so bumpy. Everyone, they're like, there's not going to be any service and everything's fine. And everybody's and then Boeings are just falling out of it. Oh, a piece fell off. And they're like, is that supposed to... What happened to Boeing? They used to make airplanes that flew, and now they're like, I don't know, what are we doing? Are we overthinking it? Why'd you do that? Don't overthink it. Just make the thing, man. Just make the last one again. Why didn't you just do that? Boeing's kind of like when you go to your favorite local restaurant, they don't have your favorite sandwich anymore, and they made a new one, and you're like, why? The last one worked. The last one worked so good. We were excited to be on it. And this one, the toothpick holds it all together. And without the toothpick, people die. All right? Did I just compare an airplane to a sandwich? I think I did. It's some in the moment writing there. I didn't know that's where we were going to go.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching my video. Is this too close? We're keeping it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm going to be on tour all year, 2024. Might be the last one. So, go to zoltancomedy.com, look at the tour schedule. If you don't see your town, sign up for my mailing list. I promise I'm going to try to come, and I'll see you out there on the road. Thank you.
We are here. Thank you very much. That is some excitement. Man, I am so glad that guy made that kick. He had no idea how much was on the line. Like, he thought it was just to the next round of the playoffs. I'm like, dude, you could have ruined a comedy show. It was so fun. Me and the comics, we were watching in the green room back there, and they were playing the game out here, and we were watching it on a delay, so we could tell. There was like a 5 Mississippi delay, so like every time you guys are like, we're like, oh, this is gonna be good. So congratulations, I'm really happy for you. I love being, happy for you, go all the way, all that stuff. My team's out, so I'm good. I'm happy for you, but I also know you guys have at least, best case scenario, 3 more games of stress, right? 3 more games of stress. It's also kind of nice knowing my stress is done, because now I just get to enjoy all the games. I'm like, I don't care who wins. This is great. There is like a freeness to just having your team kind of suck and be gone. And you just get to sit there, this guy next to you at the bar, just crying into his beer, and you're just there like, that was a hell of a game, wasn't it? Wow! Back and forth, my God! Whew! I'm gonna get to bed. Have fun. No, I love sports. I love it. It's very nice when you have something on the line, you're rooting for your team. But it's very nice when you don't too, and you're just like, this is fun. This is fun to be around. I don't know too much about your team. I know your coach because he used to coach in New Orleans, and I don't know. I'm sure he's a great coach. Obviously, he's winning. I just don't something about him I don't trust. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? He just has a look like he would hit on his son's girlfriend. Right? A little. I think it's the visor. There's something about a visor where you're like, yeah, man, he can't make a choice. Hat or no hat, but see my hair, Hat, but see my hair. I don't know, there's something about him, but very much love coming to Denver. I'm very excited to be at this club. This is my first weekend at this club, and all the hype is well deserved. It's a hot room. This is how every comedy club should be designed. It should be downstairs, it should be cold, and it should only be warmed by your laughter. That's how it should be. Everyone should be crammed in. No one should have tables. Everyone should have to eat out of their laps. That's how it should be done. It's uncomfortable for you, but it's great for me. Like, it makes all the energy come towards me, and it's about you, but if you knew how much I think of myself, it's more about me. Very high ego. Very, very sensitive performer. I need all of it, but I love it. We're all crammed in here. Some of you were like on stage with me. Like, you're part of it. This is what it's like, isn't it? Wow, it must be so magical to be on stage. You guys like? Not really. It's, thought the lights would be brighter. Not that bright. There's a clock. He knows how much time he has left. This is all he does? But no, I like your town, man. I've been coming here a lot, and it's everyone's friendly, but not in a creepy way. It's like the right amount. Other places are friendly, and they have a long gaze. They hang out a little too long. You guys keep it moving. Hi, how are you? Good. Have fun. And you just keep it moving. I appreciate that. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's got a good, healthy look to them. You guys aren't cold. My wife and I have been freezing. We got in on a Wednesday. We've been cold. And I know it usually is colder than it is now, but it's cold enough for us to be like, whoa. And there's people out there in shorts, just shorts, the whitest legs I've seen. So many, just man thighs, healthy man thigh, just big, no hair, just the ultimate man comes from Denver. You guys are a mix of just muscle, and it's like CrossFit athletes and cowboys, but you also look like you read. It's like that's what Denver is, the literate cowboy. Yeehaw! What are you reading? Hemingway. That's what I'm reading. It's interesting. It's great. Great food. Underrated food. I don't. Maybe I'm not in the world of food and culinary and all that stuff, but I've never heard anyone say, "Man, you got to go to Denver for the food." Great food out here. I know. My wife and I got in on Wednesday. We went to a sushi place that I keep forgetting the name. Uchi, I believe. Is that one of them? Is that one of them nearby? Okay, we went to that. Probably one of the best sushi places we've ever been to. Not a Japanese soul in the building. We got served sushi by a white skateboarder. That's what he looked like. He looked like a skateboard kid. And he kept giving us, the food was amazing, but he told us how to eat everything, which I didn't appreciate, you know? Because I go to a sushi place in San Diego, and the guy's Japanese. He leaves us alone. He just drops it off, and says enjoy, and this kid's like, all right, you're going to want to, I usually bare hand these and just put it in. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. I don't. Something about the way you look in your outfit. I'm just going to use the sticks, you know? What a move to tell someone, yeah, you just use your bare hands on that sushi. It's like, you don't know what I've touched. You have no idea. I opened the door to get in here. You think I'm just going to bare hand sushi? It's already raw fish. That's a gamble on its own. You want me to add my own little zest to it? No, I'm not doing that. So I'm like, yeah, I'll use the sticks, you know? But yeah, it was an interesting setup because you order through the sushi guy. He makes all the good sushis. But then your drinks, there's a server coming behind you, and that doesn't work. I don't know. I'm already uncomfortable in public, and I don't need people coming at me from different angles. It's uncomfortable because I'm over here eating sushi, and she's like, another round of drinks? That's like my little pet peeve on going out to eat. Come at me from an angle that I'm aware, you know? Don't come up behind, how is everything? It's so embarrassing. It's like they wait for you to take a bite and they're like, how is it? These are real good. Yeah, good times, man. We went to vintage stores. We did a lot. We went to. That's what my wife and I like doing. We like finding out where the antique stores, vintage stores are, and we go walk around and look at that. I go look for old action figures. That's how I got into antique stores. Is like toys from my childhood are now in there. And so my wife wants to look at mid-modern century furniture, whatever the hell she's into, and I'm like, yeah, do they have some WWF Hasbro figures from the early 90s? That's what I look around for. I'm just, and I like looking at old stuff. Those places are weird. They all kind of all have the same things, and they all also have old Playboy magazines, which is like, who has that kind of confidence to walk into an antique store at 2 in the afternoon? And they're all run by just elderly people and just thumb through Playboy. Hey, I just had lunch. Let me look at some old smut from 40 years ago. I'd love to have that much confidence. I don't even have the confidence to beeline to the action figures that I want. I don't even have, I circle it. I come by, I'm like, there they are. But I don't want to just walk into the store and go and run right to them, because then no one's going to respect me there, you know? I go, oh, are these some old Coca-Cola glasses? What are those? Oh, that's, well, yeah. And then you kind of eyeball it. I think I'll take this. I have to be all sheepish. Yeah, I think I'll take this. Really? You have no idea who that is? No, I know everything about that person, and I want to add them to my shelf of collection. Yeah, we've had a great time here. It's been I hope you guys have had a happy New Year and good holidays. I've had a good. I don't know if you turn on the phone or the TV. It's pretty weird out there. But I mean, like, my life's good, so that's weird. You ever have that where you can't even celebrate your own life because you turn on the TV and you're like, oh, we should keep that down. Yeah. You can't just go out and go, woo! Yeah! And then you're like, oh. Of course, you know? It's just a big, I don't know. I thought we were, like, as a whole, like, my personal holidays were good, but as a country, I think we were promised a lot for Christmas, and it was just kind of a letdown, you know? Like, right before Christmas, they were like, oh, we're releasing the Epstein files. Like, now that's a gift. You know, everyone's, finally, yeah! And then it got released, but it was all redacted, and you're like, and it just reminded me of Christmas in '99, because, I asked for a Kid Rock CD from my mother, and she bought it, but she bought it from Walmart, and it was all edited. And I'm like, both situations, I'm like, what are they saying? You know? Everything is just blocked out. You know? We were promised so much, but we weren't given it. You know? Like Jake Paul got knocked out, but he didn't die. I was watching for a murder. I didn't know I had that much hatred in my heart for someone that I didn't know. And then he got knocked down, and the ref's like, no more. I'm like, his eyes are still open. Let him hit him some more. His eyes are still open. Let him fight his brother next. Let him fight his brother. Why do I hate that family? Those people did nothing to me, but God, I hate them. Yeah, I don't know. I did thumb through like I did my own research, man. They released a bunch of the Epstein files. There's a lot of photos. I looked at the photos from the Epstein files. Boy, they sure took a lot of pictures on that illegal sex island, right? You think they'd take it easy on the photographs on the illegal sex island? Like, do you guys not know how to do crime? Like, take it. Doesn't that seem weird? An illegal sex island. Someone's just walking around just... It's like, maybe easy on the... There wasn't one person there like, hey, I looked at those photos, I'm like, I think I might be better at crime. Like, I used to, when I was in my 20s, weed was illegal, and I used to buy marijuana from a drug dealer. I used to go to a drug dealer's apartment, and when I would get on the street he lived on, I would turn my phone off in case anyone was tracking me. That's the paranoia I had. Meanwhile, this Epstein Island, like, Bill Clinton's taking a photo with the pilots, like... And I'm like, easy, dude, what are you should be better at this. Like, everyone should be better at this, but... You know, they used to say marijuana is like a gateway drug to harder drugs. I think golf is a gateway sport to ending up on an illegal sex island. Just like marijuana, not everyone ends up, not everyone that plays golf ended up, but those guys all met on a golf course, all right? That's a conversation that started on the back nine, and then Jeff's like, I got an island, We can. It's so weird. It feels weird to make fun of dark stuff. It does. Like every time I say these jokes, I feel like ha ha ha, and then I feel like just a sense of oh yeah. We're trying. I don't know. It's fun. I don't know. You just have to find some kind of fun in it. Like I watched the other day where Trump went and gave a speech at the Ford plant where they make the F-150, and then afterwards, one of the workers was like pedophile protector, and then he got and he flipped the guy off as any president would do in that situation. Gave him the finger and then pointed. You. Just in case that some other guy's like, me? No! Yeah! And then he stormed off. And he left, and I'm like, oh man, I'm glad general labor jobs haven't changed. Because that's where I used to work. Before I got to do comedy full time, I worked at like warehouses, I unloaded trucks, I worked at like CNC machine shops. Like I wasn't qualified to touch any of the stuff, but I was like the guy that would unload the truck and help the guy that knew how to work the machine. I was one of those guys. So I worked around those guys for years, and I know like you can't, if you have anything you're sensitive about, those guys are gonna find out. And they're gonna yell it, alright? They're gonna yell it at you. Whatever you're sensitive about, they're gonna find out. They're gonna yell. Ah! Dude, I remember there was a guy, a coworker of mine. I think we were disputing his age. He told us his age, and we either thought he was older or younger. And to prove us wrong, he pulled out his driver's license to show us his birthday. And one of the other guys was like, "Whoa, your middle name's Cornelius?" Every day after that, he was heckled mercilessly. So when I watched that clip and the guy gave it Trump's wave and the guy's like, pedophile protector, I was like, oh yeah, Cornelius. You can't walk into those places if you're sensitive about anything, because they're going to find out, man. Yeah. I had a good holiday, though. It was nice to take time off. I got to learn a lot about myself. Sorry, I have to drink a lot of water because of the altitude. Which sucks. This is the only way. I hate what I'm becoming. I drink so much water, and I don't want to drink as much water as I drink because I can't stop peeing. I can't. Isn't that weird? It's like I've always heard people older going, I can't stop peeing. I'm like, that must be awful. And I'm like, it is. I go out to have a drink. If I have a beer, I'm good. 2 beers, you won't see me a lot. After that, I'll be catching the tail end of a lot of conversations. I'll be like, so what were you saying? Oh, from before. All right. Yeah, my body's really taking 2 different directions. I can't stop peeing, and about number 2s, I don't know, Tuesdays? Every other Tuesday, maybe sometimes. What happened there? How come this is on overdrive and the other end's like, we quit? Dude, I used to smell coffee brewing, and I'd be like, I gotta get out of here. Now I'm like 3 coffees in going, do I gotta pick up cigarettes or something? Like, I think I need 3 cigarettes and 2 coffees to get anything cooking down there. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to tell you guys all that, but yeah, I had a good holiday. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my wife too. Like she's so open with her feelings. Like in public, you know, like she'll show her feelings in public. Like if she's sad, she'll be sad in public, and that's just not how I was raised. Like, you know, I was taught to cry in bed. Like no. That's why we put sheets. So you don't stain the mattress. That's you sob. And it helps. That way you get it all out. You don't have to pee in the middle of the night because you're dehydrated from it. But she shows her feelings immediately. This is a sad story I'm about to tell you, but we were on a neighborhood walk in our neighborhood, and we saw a squirrel die It sucked. We saw a squirrel get run over by a car, but it wasn't like a complete, it didn't get him completely. It got him like half, right? It was the worst situation. And my wife and I, we both saw it, we went, damn it, no. And my wife's like, we got it. And because I was going to keep moving. I was like, all right. And she's like, you're just going to leave? And I'm like, what are we going to... Like, even if her and I were the two best veterinarians on the planet, and we had unlimited GoFundMe money, there was nothing to be done. It was a bad situation. Like, and she's like, we can't just leave them. We got to do something. Call animal control. And I was like, by the time they even get here, it's going to be too late. And she's like, well, what do we do? What are we supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. I think we're supposed to put him out of his misery or something. I've heard that. And she's like, well, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm supposed to, stomp him. Don't judge me. I wasn't, it's not like I had time to study for this. I had a cold brew in my hands, all right? I was just walking through life and this happened. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm supposed to stomp him or something. And she's like, well, do it. Put him out of his misery. And he's in pain. And I'm like, I can't. I'm wearing thin shoes. I can't. I'm going to feel everything. I can't do it. So then she's like, there's nothing we can do. And I go, I don't think there's anything we can do. And she just dropped to her knees and just started crying. And we watched the squirrel die. And I was behind her, 2 steps, just kind of going, all right. I felt the same thing she felt. I just can't get there in public. My social anxiety overrides my heartache. Because, she's crying, but I'm just watching cars drive by going, I wonder what they think this situation is. Because they can't see the squirrel. All they see is a woman on her knees sobbing into the curb and a guy 2 steps behind her going, And I was like, oh, that's so awesome that you can tap into that and just feel your feelings in the moment. I don't have the ability to do that. And I'd like to, I'd like to. I'm just not great at it. And it's just, we learn different things about each other. I got to learn about her childhood. You just hang out with your significant other and and you find out little traumas of their childhood through things they do to you. And then you're like, what was that? And they just look at you like, what? I'm doing normal things. We were in bed. We were watching a movie or something, and we were eating popcorn. And it was a little left, and she poured it in her hand. She's like, you want the rest of this? And I was like, okay. And so I just went in. And I don't know. I didn't want to just transfer hands, so she held it out. So I just... Like a little goat at a petting zoo. And my tongue barely touched her palm, and she just went, just mushed it into my face. I was like, what was that? And she's like, that's how my mom used to feed us when we were kids. And I was like, good Lord, She's like, I know. It's like, I gotta hold my nose up. Let the bleeding stuff just pie-faced it in there. And I was like, good Lord, that was unnecessary, I learned so much. My wife, she's strictly showers. She doesn't do baths. And I found that out because I'm like, hey, you want to take a bath together? And she goes, why? What are we going to do in there? And I was like, what do you mean, what are we going to do? It's going to be nice. We can both get in there. There's bubbles. We can put our feet up. We can massage each other's feet, And then she's like, that doesn't sound fun on my end. And then I thought of my foot, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound fun on your end. Just my hoof just hanging over here. And she's probably going to cut her hand on my toes. But I was like, it'd be fun. We could set up the iPad. We can have wine. We can watch stuff. We'll be in a bath. She's like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do the shower. And she goes, okay. So then we're in the shower. And she's like, oh, let me scrub your back. And it was like, I was expecting like a You know, like a sensual, you know, maybe a little whisper in the ear. You know, just a little something. I got the most aggressive scrub down. She was scrubbing me like a cow that she was getting ready for the state fair, just rubbing me down. It was so rough. Like she took a loofah to my back and and I'm like, that's a mole. You're rubbing off a mole. I'm bleeding in the shower. And I was like, why would you do that? And she's like, that's how my mom used to bathe us. And I was like, that's why you don't like baths. Because you remember being a kid, just apparently just coming sawing down on her. It's so rough, man. I felt for her, you know. I felt for her. But yeah, she wants me to, you know, we were talking about that because like a little differences in childhood. Like she's comfortable in silence. That's something that our relationship has taught me to be comfortable in. Like I grew up, you always need the TV on. I need the TV on, I need the radio on, a podcast, something. I need some other noise other than nothing. Because if there's nothing, these voices start getting loud. I gotta drown out these voices with a little, like, sports talk banter. Like, that helps. Who's gonna be the quarterback next season? Like, that's exactly what I need to keep these voices down. And she's like, why are you that way? And I'm like, that's how I was raised. We just always had noise, you know? And that's what I'm used to. But, you know, she's always like trying to help me. She's like, she recently talked to me, she's like, you need to emotionally regulate. That's a big one. You don't have good emotional regulation. Because I don't blow up in public, but I like yell silently. Like when things go wrong, you know, just something. Like when we landed on Wednesday, I was going through the airport and I had my backpack on my rolly bag, so I'm doing the thing where it rests on top, and it tripped, it like kept bumping into my heels. So the first time, and then the bag fell over, so I had to get on. And it happened 2 more times, and finally the third one, I'm like, you know? And Emma's like, what are you doing? That lady just saw you. And she's like, you need to emotionally regulate, all right? When you feel anger coming, I want you to just roll your shoulders back and do this with your fingers. I saw a video online. You're just supposed to do this. And I was like, that's what I'm supposed to do? Instead of just, you know, like, you got to cry over the squirrel. Why can't I silently cuss at my back? But she's like, no, you roll your fingers and you twinkle your toes. And I'm like, all right, I'll do that next time. Next time the bag falls over, I'm just going to stop in the whole airport. And I'll never be allowed to fly again. Do you realize someone's going to report that? Someone's going to see that. And I will be on a list where I'm no longer allowed to fly. It's going to be bad. But yeah, I don't know. We had a good holiday, though. I like hanging out with my mom because she's getting darker. Like, emotionally, she's letting some stuff fly, you know? And I'm like, whoo, like, Thanksgiving. I mean, she's telling me stories I've never heard before. Thanksgiving. My mom and I used to work together in a retirement home. So she used to work there, and then it was my first job in high school, so we used to work together. And my wife was asking us questions about it. She was like, oh, how was that? Was that nice to work together? I'm like, yeah, it was good. She's like, was it cool working with the elderly people? I was like, yeah, you get to know them, and then you get to know what they like. So you have regulars. It's a bunch of regulars. I'm serving them dinner. It's cool. And she asked, like, did you? I'm sure you lost a bunch of them. And I was like, yeah. I mean, that is what happens there. So that's a bummer. And my wife goes, have you ever seen anyone die in front of you? And I was like, I think she was still on the squirrel thing, you know. And I was like, no, I didn't. I've never seen anyone die in front of me. My mom's like, I have. And I go, what? I didn't know that. And she goes, oh yes, I see. And she told this story about she used to do the breakfast, the continental breakfast, and there was this one resident who had been there for years, and they knew each other very well. But she had the same breakfast every day. She had an English muffin, jam, and black coffee. Just a very plain breakfast. That's what she had every day. And this one day she was like, I don't know what it is, but this is the best English muffin, and the best jam, and the best coffee I've ever had. My mom's like, oh, good, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, and she's like, no, did you guys change the English muffins? Did you change, is this a new brand of jam? Is this different coffee? And my mom's like, nope, same stuff we have all the time. She goes, it's the best I've ever had. My mom's like, okay. And then she sat down, had a major stroke, and died right there. And my wife and I were like, oh my God. And my mom's like, yes, so if you eat something, never enjoy too much. That's how we started Thanksgiving dinner, all right? That was our prayer. And I was like, you're getting dark, Mom. You're getting dark. And I'm here for it, I guess. It's a good story, but yeah. Like, we really bonded during the pandemic, and that was a time when people are like, uh-oh, what does that mean? That's an Amber Alert. Oh, I mean, all right, posse, round up. We're going to go find her. Everyone grab a weapon. We're storming the streets. We're going to go up to every silver Nissan Sentra, and we're going to bash the window in. Why is it coming through the speakers? Is that how the Amber Alerts work here? Would they have ended the football game if that ended? Will Lutz is getting ready for the kick. Oh, we gotta find her. Everyone storms out of there. My God. Oh yeah, it is yeah, it's an emergency alert. All right. Says we're safe here. Says shelter in place. Well, we are in place. Leave us alone. It's perfect. We're in a bomb shelter. Look at it. Wouldn't that be crazy if we went out there and... and we got to start over? Like, this is the group. We need a leader. And you're like, well... My God. All right.
Hello. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. I just wanted to let you know that I have a brand new comedy special out entitled London Fog. If you haven't already watched it. If you have, go watch it again. Why not? That helps. Also, I'm on tour, the Worldwide-ish Tour 2026. Going to Europe, all over the United States, a little bit of Canada, the UK, which is also in Europe, but I guess it sounds more full when I add it. ZoltanComedy.com. Hit the link and only buy tickets from there. Don't go to resellers. Those guys are ripping everybody off. ZoltanComedy.com. Third time's the charm.